Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Renatos C. Corona.
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Renato Corona.
Chief Justice Renato Corona.
Chief Justice Renato Corona.
Justice Renato Corona
Has found him guilty of the charge under Article Roman number 2 of the said Articles of Impeachment.
Hello Philippines and hello Paisans! Welcome back to your favorite crime show, Crime Encounters with Gurong Vlogger ng Kuwait. Here at GVK, we have been given the marvelous opportunity of being able to interview a few individuals today for our special episode regarding the recent situation surrounding Chief Renato Corona's recent impeachment. From April 2003 to December 2011, incoming transactions in the Chief Justice's account, including deposits and bank transfers, totaled to about $28,740,497.93, the documents show. This was when Mr. Corona was earning less than $935 per month as a Supreme Court of Justice. Money laundering is considered to be one of the biggest concerns of not just the government, but the Filipino people in this case. So, as Crime Watch encounters all of this in one sitting, it is time for us, Crime Watchers, to find out. Today on Crime Encounters with Gurong Vlogger ng Kuwait, we have Muna Sushil and Angel Hamdan, two significant members of the Manila Police Force and important public servants. An amazing day to you all. I am extremely happy to be having you on my show.
We are doing alright. Thank you for inviting us.
Well, as members of the police force, I am very sure that you guys have lots of experience regarding the daily encounters you have to face on the field and the sacrifices you make. You are probably very well versed with the components of the current Philippine justice system.
The Philippine justice system, it surely is a huge issue in the country. Many people question the purpose of it despite being so flawed, though I wasn't always open to the idea of its flaws until recent events. That is, Chief Justice Renatos Corona's impeachment.
Well, could you please elaborate further about this current impeachment and how it affected your views on the current Philippine justice system?
Of course, former Chief Justice Renato Corona was impeached on Tuesday, December 29, 2011 for not declaring the 183 million pesos in his statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. Now we all know that not declaring the statement as a huge politician raises suspicion for corruption. Having an enormous amount of money in your hands without declaring it hints about one's participation and abuse of power, exploitative activities, and blatant corruption. Additionally, it is a public document that states where all your money comes from and goes, as it is taxpayers' money. I am a taxpayer, and knowing that someone could be using the tax money I've paid for the wrong things is horrendous. That is why 16 senators voted to impeach him, while 3 voted for acquittal. And I agree with what happened, as the senators said that the law should apply to all, mirroring the case of former court interpreter Delsa Flores.
That is actually very, very true. A prior case was one of the firing of court interpreter Delsa Flores, who was terminated for failing to declare her market stall in her SALM. Some see these terminations of quote-unquote corrupt officials as a victory over corruption. However, some others interpret this as an event or a political move by the Aquino administration to take away the obstruction blocking them from prosecuting former President Gloria Arroyo. In the end, no one is above the law, if you think about it. The Philippine justice system is honestly quite complicated, and it takes one's effort to understand it more deeply.
Yes, but I remember that Officer Hamdan and I did have a student arrested during our usual protest that we kept for questioning, who actually opened my eyes to the flaws of the system. Sometimes I remember it as clear as day inside the dark interrogation room, dim light and her beaten up face in front of me. Her words spoke volumes when we questioned her motives to stand against the current system.
Okay, I need you to tell us your views so we can come to an agreement. Why did you join the protest?
I want to speak to a lawyer.
You're not a suspect for arrest. We just want to understand your
And I
ideas.
said that I want to speak to a lawyer.
Just speak to us and we'll be out of here, with a lawyer or not.
When you speak to me about justice, then you are speaking to me through the mouth of Ralph Semino Galaz. These are the accoutrements of her office, the blindfold symbolizing impartiality, a golden pair of scales measuring the validity of evidence given, both pro and con, the double-edged sword that pierces through the thick fabric of lies, thought's feather of truth, which ultimately determines whether the defendant's life is worth saving. In J. Elizalde Navarro's oil painting titled, "Is This Philippine Justice?", the figure of the Roman goddess Justitia slowly fades into thin air swallowed by pigments, cloudy as doubts in my uncertain country, where right and wrong are cards that can be shuffled like a pile of money bills. Even the land's chief magistrate is not immune from culpability, found guilty. He has to face the music of derision.
Her words came out too smoothly, as if they were memorized, but she was stern and sure with what she said. She knew what she believed and was ready to influence others.
I can see that there are so many symbols in that poem that this student said. It is also quite important to have these different symbols to help us understand and evaluate or uncover the message behind what a speaker wants to convey. And in the significance of our nation, symbolism in literary forms emphasize the beauty and the stern message of these forms of art. We are certainly able to establish our own ideas and opinions originating from these symbols in order to evaluate our nation and seek action.
We use the literary theory of formalism to analyze what they said, which is the mastery of the formal elements of literature, and advocates the close reading of a text when studying literature. It can either be used for public symbols, where the symbols are traditionally established, like the symbol of rose for love. There were many public symbols in what she said, such as the blindfold, meaning the impartiality of justice, or justice being blind to the physical qualities of those involved to avoid bias. This was also seen when she used the phrase, "face the music of derision." That symbolizes how one will ultimately face ridicule or humiliation. Then there were private symbols, when the symbols are used by the author, which can signify whatever he would want it to mean, based on how it is portrayed in the text. These were she compared right and wrong to cards, being shuffled blindly from time to time. She explained the justice system to turn a blind eye and simply picking what is right and wrong, randomly, just like how you shuffle cards and end up with a random card.
In the Philippines, most notably the Supreme Court of the Philippines, is seen as a main topic in the poem she said, "The justice system unfortunately shuffles the cards of right or wrong to be compared to a pile of money bills. This is how so many people are either justly or unjustly punished for their applied crimes. There is some sort of music of derision that the former Chief Justice faces due to getting caught for his actions, which is some sort of humiliation or ridicule that are his consequences aside from legal action."
So apparently, money was a huge role player in the whole scheme of things. This was even referred to as what was uttered by the student, the figure of the Roman goddess Justitia slowly fading into thin air, being an analogy to justice and its firm foundation in society as a disregarded entity.
Yes, it is very certain that things go the way with money. Money is such a powerful thing that not only controls a person to do bad things to obtain money, but to even hide it as a means of protecting it with your whole career.
It is actually also very common to see the justice system as a topic theme in controversy.
Yes, Ms. Sushil, that is certainly very, very true. With the impeachment of Chief Justice Renato Corona and the concerns surrounding the current state of the Philippine justice system, it is important for us Filipinos to encourage our government to stray away from money reliance. As a government, it should uphold its democratic duty of maintaining the peace and order of the system and reject any members of the platform that do malicious things. Well, in my opinion, it was the right thing, of course, to do with the impeachment of Chief Justice Renato Corona, not just because of the consequences underlying within the crimes he made, but also for the sake of the citizens who pay their rightful taxes to these politicians. Thank you so much for being with me today, Ms. Muna Sushil and Mr. Angel Hamdan, and thank you all for joining me on another episode of Crime Encounters with Gurong Vlogger ng Kuwait. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. An amazing day to you, Philippines, and an amazing day to you, Paisans. Bye!